2022 marks the 25th anniversary of Hong Kong's return to the motherland. The city has emerged from social turbulence and regained social stability, then progressed from a state of stability to embrace an era of prosperity, reaching a new milestone. In July, President Xi Jinping visited Hong Kong to attend a series of celebratory events for the occasion and deliver important speeches, during which he remarked that the one country, two systems principle has been implemented in Hong Kong successfully, and the coming demi-decade will present a critical window of opportunity for the city to break new ground and reach new heights. To accommodate President Xi's visit to Hong Kong, the police mounted all-encompassing interdepartmental security operations. All participating officers did their utmost to discharge their specific duties, successfully maintaining order in various locations across the city to ensure the safe and orderly execution of the entire security operation. Besides, during the chief executive election and the 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, the police deployed officers from the Counter-Terrorism Response Unit, Railway Response Team, and the Airport Security Unit, as well as the Emergency Unit of each police region and the Police Tactical Unit to conduct high-profile patrol at major infrastructures and transport hubs, ensuring all important events were smooth running. On the morning of the 1st of July, Chief Executive John Lee and key government officials attended the flag-raising ceremony at the Golden Bohemia Square in Wan Chai, during which the police fully adopted the Chinese-style foot drill, with officers of the police flag party making an entrance in lockstep. Later in the month, the police college's passing out parade was unprecedentedly graced by the Chinese-style marching, with Chief Executive John Lee being the reviewing officer, who expressed his gratitude to the force for its enduring devotion to duty and for safeguarding Hong Kong dutifully and unwaveringly. He also encouraged all the graduating cadets to stay true to their aspirations when encountering challenges or adversities, in order to do their part to serve Hong Kong. By virtue of the implementation of the Hong Kong National Security Law in mid-2020, stability was generally restored in the city in terms of its overall law and order situation. The police have stepped up efforts to uphold national security via a multi-pronged strategy to enhance the public's understanding of the importance of keeping our country safe. To fortify police-public collaboration to fight and prevent terror attacks, the police launched the Counter-Terrorism Reporting Hotline, appealing to citizens to come forward with crime leads related to suspected acts of terrorism or violence, and further engaging them to spot and report all suspicious acts. Set up in June, the hotline received over 10,000 messages as of mid-December, a considerable amount of which warranted the police follow-up action and investigation. Some of the messages even led to the successful detection of crimes by the police, with the seizure of a large amount of chemicals fit for manufacturing explosives, plastic tubes studded with metal nails, and various offensive weapons.
Upholding national security is a key mission of the central government, the SAR government, and the Hong Kong Police Force. In the year of 2022, the force honored its pledge by accomplishing multiple feats in terms of security operations. We will remain professional, determined, and impartial when enforcing the law, continuing to do our part for the collective goal of bringing prosperity through security.
The 10 months between January and October saw a total of 56,852 criminal offenses, representing a 6.6% year-on-year increase. Violent crimes and various major offenses, including robberies, burglaries, and wounding, registered significant decreases of 10 to 40% compared to the same period last year. In particular, 64 robberies were recorded in 2022, representing a year-on-year decrease of nearly 40%, while as many as 70% of them were detected. The slight increase in the total number of crimes is mainly attributable to a spike in scams by over 6,000 cases. In the first 10 months of the year, a total of 2,222 teenagers were arrested for committing criminal offenses, representing a significant year-on-year decline of 10%. When it comes to cracking down on triad-related offenses, the police have been sparing no effort in stepping up law enforcement by mounting numerous territory-wide anti-triad operations, which led to the arrest of over 2,000 suspects linked to triad-related crimes in the first 10 months of the year. During the World Cup 2022, the force also turned its law enforcement actions up a notch to crack down on illegal gambling activities resolutely, arresting over 700 persons in total. Going forward, the police will continue to mount intelligence-led operations to further combat illegal activities involving triads in order to maintain public confidence in public order and safety in Hong Kong. As for deception-related offenses, a total of 22,309 scams were recorded between January and October, representing an approximately 40% year-on-year increase. Among the cases, 70% took place in cyberspace. Throughout the year, the police mounted numerous large-scale operations to combat a gamut of fraud, resulting in the arrest of over 3,000 suspected scammers in the first 10 months of the year. Within the same period, officers of the Police Anti-Deception Coordination Center managed to block over 700 scams, successfully intercepting nearly 1.1 billion Hong Kong dollars belonging to would-be victims that was en route to swindlers' pockets. Meanwhile, the Police Organized Crime and Triad Bureau took over cases in which Hong Kong residents were believed to have been lured by scammers to certain Southeast Asian countries, then subsequently held hostage and coerced into performing illegal work. As of November, the police arrested 10 persons on suspicion of conspiring to defraud, and 3 of them were prosecuted. To curb ever-proliferating scams, the force fortified its anti-deception publicity work on all fronts. Besides setting up the anti-scam helpline at 18222, we also established the e-crime processing and analysis hub to speed up the detection of cybercrime and scams by harnessing big data analytics. Concurrently, the police rolled out an anti-fraud search engine, Scammeter, which enables citizens to identify suspicious calls, bogus websites, and fraudulent bank accounts for siphoning off money from victims. The tool has proved well received by members of the public, evident from the nearly 150,000 searches it had performed upon users' requests as of early December. To enhance the permeation of our anti-deception messages in society, we actively ventured into a broader spectrum of platforms and channels, such as displaying anti-deception information on electronic and social media platforms, at public tunnels, and on the projection screens of select cinemas. We have also launched a citywide anti-deception challenge in the hope of further heightening citizens' vigilance against ever-morphing scams. In late 2021, suspected cases of child abuse inflicted by staff members of the Hong Kong Society for the Protection of Children and its children's residential home in Mong Kok came to light. Upon investigation, the police arrested and prosecuted 34 suspected perpetrators. Highly concerned about any harm done to children, the police continuously review and improve the procedure for handling child abuse cases. In 2022, the police established a special task force with the Department of Justice to expedite investigation and prosecution, as well as setting up the Vulnerable Witness Response Cadre to strengthen training for investigators and boost the police capability in handling child abuse cases. All along, the police have been working closely with the Social Welfare Department and different stakeholders in society, adopting a multi-pronged approach to mobilize child protection endeavors through prevention, education, law enforcement, support, etc. This year, the police once again launched the Let's Talk Child Protection campaign to raise public awareness of the importance of child protection through large-scale events. To nip juvenile delinquency in the bud and enhance youngsters' respect for the law even more effectively, the police published the Chronicle of Juvenile Delinquency, the go-to guide for teachers and parents, which sheds light on youth crime trends as well as delineating the modus operandi adopted by criminals in an attempt to approach youngsters and corrupt their minds. Publishing the guide that comes complete with case studies and relevant laws, the force wishes to collaborate with schools and parents to play relevant short videos for youngsters to warn them against juvenile delinquency. The guide also serves as the force solution kit, as well as treasure trove of anti-crime information to teachers and parents.
In the year of 2022, the overall law and order situation in Hong Kong remains stable. There is a significant drop in the total number of teenagers arrested, as well as the numbers of cases recorded for various types of criminal offences, including violent crimes, with burglaries and robberies hitting a 3-decade low and the detection rates even hitting a record high for the past decade. Going forward, we will continue to strengthen law enforcement, increase the breadth and depth of anti-deception publicity endeavours, and work closely with all sectors of society in the hope of engaging all citizens to fend off scammers together. I hope all of you can remind your loved ones to stay vigilant at all times to avoid falling prey to scams. Meanwhile, youngsters are leaders in the making for Hong Kong's future. Attaching the utmost importance to protecting children and teenagers, the police have been working closely with various stakeholders, including fellow government departments, non-governmental organizations, sponsoring bodies for schools, as well as teachers and parents, to jointly raise public awareness of the importance of safeguarding the next generation.
To further increase the transparency of police work and projecting the police professionalism to the public, throughout the year, the police endeavored to tell stories conveying the spirit of commendable police officers, as well as responding to comments on the force from all sectors via different platforms, to encourage police-public interaction and solidify the public's faith in the force. Following the wave of violent protests engulfing the city in 2019, the Independent Police Complaints Council issued a thematic study report on the public order events and put forward 52 recommendations for change. In May, IPCC members paid a visit to the headquarters of the Police Tactical Unit to follow up on the police implementation of the suggested solutions. And our officers introduced to the IPCC delegate the numerous measures adopted by the police over the past 2 years, including the enhanced anti-riot training for frontline officers and the fortification of their capability to command and coordinate in the event of chaos and public disorder. In July, the United Nations Human Rights Council deliberated on Hong Kong's fulfillment of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. The HKSAR government delegate attended the meeting via video conferencing, with Deputy Commissioner of Police Joe Chow explaining the Hong Kong Police Force law enforcement actions, as well as its strict adherence to guidelines regarding the use of force when handling violent protests. To keep pace with the ever-evolving social environment, further gaining the public's trust and support, as well as shedding light on the police professionalism, the previous Police Public Relations branch has officially been elevated to the Public Relations Wing. The elevation is a testament to the fact that the force has put great emphasis on its relations with the public, as well as its vision and determination to mobilize policing with the communities. The Public Relations Wing has endeavored to shed light on the force's professionalism, perseverance, and devotion to society, as well as increasing the transparency of police work, proactively refuting groundless or inaccurate accusations, and bolstering its relations with the communities. In November, the Police Recruitment Center officially opened its doors, with the aim of offering citizens an additional channel to understand police work and obtain recruitment-related information, as well as offering on-the-spot consultation and simulated selection process for aspiring police officers to stand them in good stead when they apply to join the force. The police will continue to intensify its recruitment campaign to further attract capable and qualified individuals to join the law enforcement agency.
All along, the police have been sparing no efforts in enhancing the transparency of police work, fortifying our relations with the communities, as well as stimulating communities' involvement in policing to prevent and fight crime together. And I believe such endeavours have yielded tangible results for all to see. Going forward, we will remain steadfast and pragmatic in fulfilling our duties, honoring our pledge as police officers, amassing support from members of the public, and working hand in hand with everyone in Hong Kong to safeguard our precious homeland.
In September, the police successfully detonated a moored naval mine left behind by the British Army during the Second World War in the waters opposite Cape d'Aguilar. The Marine Police sealed off the waters in the vicinity of Cape d'Aguilar, while officers from the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Bureau and the Special Duties Unit arrived at the waters where the moored mine was located and used stun grenades to disperse marine organisms in the surroundings in advance to minimize the impact of the detonation on the environment. The moored naval mine was successfully detonated in the end.
常規炸彈嘅水雷咧，都係由一啲軍事級別嘅任務，即係由一啲海軍或者軍隊嚟做嘅。咁啊，今次嚟講咧，就證明咗我哋個警隊咧係有一個能力啊，去處理一啲軍事級別嘅任務。
As for maintaining road safety, the police have been strengthening traffic enforcement and publicity work. Through the stipulation of the selected traffic enforcement priorities, the police are dedicated to driving down the number of road casualties. Between January and October this year, a total of 11,993 traffic accidents ending with deaths and injuries were recorded, representing an 18.35% year-on-year decrease. Meanwhile, the total number of casualties also registered a nearly 19% year-on-year drop. The police will continue to engage in multilateral collaborations, leaving no stone unturned when it comes to increasing road safety awareness of all road users, be they pedestrians, passengers, riders, or drivers, as well as strengthening law enforcement. We will also continue to act on information provided by citizens to actively follow up on driving behaviors running afoul of the law and carry out timely arrests. In the third year of the ongoing fight against COVID-19, the force will remain united and devoted in doing its part in the anti-epidemic mission, encompassing duties including tracking and tracing the virus, cordoning off areas for mandatory quarantine, evacuating residents, conducting public appeals and spot checks, as well as enforcing the law in accordance with regulations banning group gatherings. Staying undaunted and dedicated along the way, the police will continue to spare no effort in assisting the authorities in tackling the fifth wave of the epidemic, safeguarding every line of defense for Hong Kong. During the epidemic, the number of lives claimed had been on a rise, putting a lot of strain on hospitals and public mortuaries, to an extent that some of the corpses had to be temporarily stored at hospitals until further arrangements. With a view to ameliorating the situation, the police adopted a plan in March to coordinate manpower and deploy officers from different police regions and divisions to form the designated corpse handling team to expedite the handling of the bodies of the deceased so as to offer solace to their families. Since the onset of the fifth wave of the COVID-19 epidemic, medical staff at public hospitals had to transfer scores of patients on a daily basis. The police deployed over 40 officers who had received training under the police-oriented tactical emergency medical course and possessed medical knowledge required of first responders to assist in public hospitals' non-emergency ambulance transfer service.
我而家咁樣嘅裝束，其實你唔刻意去問我哋咩身份咧，你哋都唔會知我哋其實係警務人員嚟嘅。我哋着住第二套制服所做嘅睇嘅宗旨，其實都係一樣嘅，都係服務一啲有需要嘅人士。
During the epidemic, the police medic special duty team members have been stationed at 3 public hospitals to help with the transfer of confirmed COVID-19 patients to fellow hospitals or other isolation facilities, as well as taking patients who had recovered from the coronavirus disease home.
Enabling members of the public to live in safety and prosperity is the force's overarching objective, as well as our greatest source of motivation to ceaselessly better ourselves and unwaveringly safeguard Hong Kong. In the coming year, regardless of what challenges we are faced with, all members of the force will stay true to our aspiration and work hard with all sectors of society to uphold national security, maintain law and order in society, protect citizens and safeguard property.
As we venture into 2023, all members of the force will remain steadfast in carrying out our duties to uphold the rule of law and progress with citizens side by side, hand in hand. We will keep working unreservedly to maintain citizens' confidence and faith in the police, with the aim of ensuring that Hong Kong remains one of the safest and most stable societies in the world.